I have a comfy new chair, so that's why I look a little bit different today. Hey BookTube, it's Kim at Middle of the Book March, and this is my bookish week for Sunday, November 16th. That was good. That was quicker than usual. And I haven't actually I did. I finished one book, but I can't really talk to you about it because it's my book group book, which is coming up this coming Saturday we're meeting. And I don't want to talk to you all about it before I talk to my in real life book group. So that's what I'm going to do. This is The Mad Wife by Megan Church. This is about a young wife, Lulu, in the 1950s, and exactly what that cover implies. It gave me very, very heavy vibes of The Stepford Wives and Leave It to Beaver, June Cleaver, and I don't want to say too much. I wasn't sure that I liked the book until about halfway through, and then it became very clear how I felt about this book. But Lulu Mayfield has spent the last 5 years molding herself into the stereotypical and contrived and expected 1950s housewife. We believe at first that she's happy with this role, that she's happy with her husband Henry and her son Wesley, the neighborhood they live in, and all of the Jell-O molds that she is known for all of the neighborhood parties and dinner parties. And to me, it sounds like the perfect Midwestern depiction of a 1950s housewife. I used to hate those Jell-O molds. I was not a 1950s housewife, but I remember the Jell-O molds, and I thought they were disgusting. Jell-O's not bad, but all I want with my Jell-O is whipped cream. So the description of the Jell-O molds were like, it was funny at the same time. This is not a funny book, so don't expect to go in here getting a bunch of laughs, but I will tell you more about my thoughts on this one after my book group next weekend, so you'll probably hear my review next weekend. I do continue to read this big, chunky book. Let me see where I'm at this point. I am getting close to the end, and I have been going back and forth between the physical copy and my Kindle copy. Oh gosh, I'm further than I thought. I'm looking through my physical copy to see. Nope, that's not it either. There's 18 chapters in this book, but the chapters are very long, and they're split up into page breaks and also into section breaks. So I am on hold at chapter 15 because I am gonna be putting my thoughts into my comments on our Voxer group for the Critical Chicks. But according to Kindle, I am 83% finished with The Pillars of the Earth by Ken Follett. This is a book that's been on my shelf for years. It is decades old, probably Ken Follett's most famous book, if I can put that assumption out there. He used to be, I think still is, a prolific writer of spy novels and thrillers, and is very well known for those books. But I think this one pushed him over the edge of being a massive literary superstar. The Pillars of the Earth is the story of an 11th century cathedral. 11th century? 12th century. I think it's set in the 1100s. I'm looking again, and I am not prepared. I think it's the 1100s, so it's the 12th century cathedral. And it is a sweeping epic of a novel, multi-generational people and characters. The first character we start off with is Tom Builder, and he has a dream of being the master mason for a cathedral project. And plot ensues. The people that he meets, the people in his family, they deal with starvation and poverty and outlaws, but it's the English countryside in the 12th century. There are corrupt religious figures, harrowing situations with local earls and the wealthy, the aristocrats. It's a sweeping epic of a book that I've already said that, but it is a fantastic story. This I can tell you about partially because we've been talking about this on Voxer. This is one of the Critical Chicks side projects. We read pretty chunky classics or modern classics as a side project. So we've already been talking about our progress through the book, and it's not a perfect book for me, but it's close, and the reading experience has been phenomenal. This is such an epic story, and the way it's written, it's plot driven, but the characters are so thought out. So yeah, if you haven't read this, I know so many people have read this book that have commented on my previous videos. So many people I've heard that you say that this is like your favorite book. It's a good one. It's a really good one. And then, of course, I'm continuing to read The Cider House Rules by John Irving with the World According to John Irving read-along. I am halfway through. I will continue, a little more than halfway through, and I'm going to continue this weekend. It's John Irving. I am a massive John Irving fangirl. I've read the majority of his books, but not all of the latest. So after this one, the group is going to be reading Queen Esther, his latest novel, which is kind of a prequel to The Cider House Rules. And we'll be doing that in December. After that, I don't know. I really want to go back and read the rest of his novels that I haven't gotten to yet. And I might do that on my own. I'll pick away one at a time. I might do that in the group. I don't know. I don't know what we're going to do, what we're going to decide. I don't know if anybody else is going to be interested in continuing to read John Irving's novels, but this has always been one of my John Irving favorites. I've said this many times, World According to Garp is my number one. And that was the book that launched me into adult novels. Before then, I think I read Garp when I was probably 18 or 19, and I also think that was the first adult novel that I bought myself. Previous to that, I got books from the library, I got books from the scholastic book fairs and schools. So John Irving has quickly become a favorite author of mine. What else? I didn't really do much else in a bookish way this past week. A lot of reading, but because these books are long and we're on a schedule, I haven't finished anything. That's okay. My year has been a much slower reading year, and which is also quite okay. I did take that long break from BookTube, and I did read, but I was reading at a much slower pace. I really enjoyed myself. I was typically reading one book at a time, and I've been comparing my year so far this year with previous years, and I think this is the year where I've read the least books since many years ago when I was in seminary. And I was in seminary for 8 years part-time, so I got very little reading for pleasure done in those years. But in this past year is comparable to some of those years. But when I look back at my Goodreads database, and I look back at all the books I have read, I've enjoyed them so much, and I've really read some great books, and I've DNF'd some lousy books. Not afraid to do that. So this coming week, I think I'm going to finish. I will finish The Pillars of the Earth this coming week. I won't be finishing this one, although I would love to, but I want to keep up with our reading schedule in order to comment on our group page. And then I will be picking up something new. I don't really know yet. I know there's a nonfiction book that I want to pick up that was sent to me by a book publicist that I have interacted with many other times. I'll show you that probably next week. And I'm not doing a lot of book shopping. I'm doing a little bit. And I have ordered some books from different places. I'll show you those. And I've actually been donating a lot of books. I actually am going to Goodwill today to donate 3 big bags of books. Many of them are books I've read that I don't need to keep. Some of them are books that I've had for a really long time and I have no more interest in. Some of them are, I don't even know. They're so old, or not old-ish, but old as languishing on my shelves. I don't remember. A lot of them are just, I don't need this one. One day I'm going to go through my shelves. I'll give you a peek of my bookshelves, and I'll show you how I organize and tell you why I've kept certain books. And that'll be a fun one. I've talked about that for a long time, but I haven't done it yet. And I think it's because I want to make sure everything in my house is set up correctly, that I've cleaned that day, and then I'll give you a peek into what I have on my shelves. I'm not going to do a shelf by shelf showing you every single book. That would be way too time intensive for me. But I think I'll just give you an overview, a review, show you how I set up my shelves and what's in there, and where I've tucked some other books, and how lackadaisical my sense of organization is. So that's it for me for this week. This is a short one. I will see you all in the next video? I'll see you all in the next video. I'll see you all in the next video. How's that sound? See you then. Thanks for watching. Bye.